Hello and welcome to episode 151 of the Pos-cast with Rabbi Shmuel Posner, myself, Seth Hellman. Rabbi, how are we doing today?
Baruch Hashem. It's the 22nd day of Adar, exactly 3 weeks away from Pesach,
Mm.
which is like, Pesach is coming. We got to be excited about it.
Best time of the year. Best time of the year.
Why is it the best time of the year?
For whatever reason, I always enjoyed Pesach as a kid, and I think it was mostly because I really liked brisket, and we essentially only had brisket in the house on Pesach. And so I didn't care about the not being able to eat bread or whatever, because I was like, great, we get brisket and we have brisket in the house.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. When you get married, I'll tell your wife not only give brisket on special occasions, not to, so you don't get used to it. Yeah. So I was talking to Omer Lachmani went to Berkeley, and he says, "Oh, I heard there's snow there," and I show him a picture outside. There's no snow left. That was so fast. A week ago, it was crazy. When was Purim? Last week. What day?
Yeah. Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, right?
Monday night, Tuesday. And this week, Tuesday, you look outside. Look now. No snow. I mean, there's snow. You can find it if you look for it. On the wrong side of the street where the sun don't shine. There's certain neighborhoods that still have piles of snow. But look outside. It's like, it's amazing. It's sunny, this. And then they changed the clock. So now the whole day is different. It's
Right.
You know the only thing that doesn't change? Because I drive to Brighton from Mincha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which direction is that? West.
Should be west, yeah.
Yeah. So the sun is always in my eyes.
Yeah.
So at 4 o'clock, it's in my eyes. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it's always my eyes. And I'm like, why is it? Like, oh yeah, because you're always driving like a half an hour before sunset. The sun is going that way. And so as much as things change, somehow they stay the same. So a friend of mine had that saying. It was actually the rabbi that was here before me. We talked to him every once in a while. As much as things change, remain the same, which is not good. You should make things change, not just remain the same. But maybe there's an interplay between the two,
Mm-hmm.
being the same and changing at the same time, both. It's a theme that the Rebbe talked about a lot of times, like the sun and the moon. The sun is constant, gets up in the morning, goes on at night. It always doesn't change. I mean, there are variations in the sun, but the sun itself. Whereas the moon is constantly changing, right? The light that we see from the moon anyway. So how do we have to have both of those things? It's like 6 days of the week comes Shabbos, or any yontif that comes. And this week we're reading Parshas HaChodesh. You know what that is? HaChodesh Elachem talks about the Jews getting ready to leave Mitzrayim, because this week we blessed the new month of Nisan. So they were talking about change. And then the regular Torah portion, it's Vayakal Pekudei, double portion, and end of Book of Shemais. A lot of energy. You're right. There's a lot of energy in these days, but we still got to tap into the Adar, increase in simcha. When the month of Adar enters, you increase in simchas. Every day you have to increase more and more. So it gets higher and higher and higher. Yeah. And then comes the 25th day. Today's the 23rd. Tomorrow's the 24th. No, today's the 22nd. Tomorrow's the 24th. Tomorrow's the 23rd. Today's the 22nd of Adar. Tomorrow will be the 23rd of Adar. Friday the 24th, and Shabbos will be the 25th of Adar. So there's two opinions in the Gemara when the world was created. Was it created Rosh Chodesh Tishrei or Rosh Chodesh Nisan? Doesn't mean the world was created. Yeah, when was Adam Rishon created? So you got to go 5 days back to get the beginning of the first day of the early world being created. So if Rosh Chodesh is on Nisan, then it's 5 days before. It's the 25th of Adar. Would be the first day of creation. If it's in Tishrei, then Elul, the 25th day of Elul. So this Shabbos is the 25th of Adar, which is also the creation of the world. And it's Parshas HaChodesh. Chodesh means new. You have to infuse the world with newness. So even though it's the same world, but it's got to be exciting. You're right. It's got to be exciting. You know, I was thinking about this. The only way you can get excited about life on a regular basis is by learning Torah. Because that's like, it's new. What do you mean it's new? Even if you learned it before and you're reviewing it, like it gives you new energy. Especially if something you haven't learned or you haven't learned in a long time and you read like, oh wow. And it's Hashem's Torah. Everybody has to learn Torah. I don't know who's listening to us here. Maybe I'm talking to myself. Because I learned today with my good friend, Boston alum, Label Cohn. We were learning a mimer about this exact subject, about the month of Nisan, the month of Tishrei, when was creation, and it says that creation in thought was in Nisan, and creation in actuality is in Tishrei. It goes the whole thing about that. About the difference between that which comes from above, from Hashem, and which comes because essentially Nisan comes from Hashem. Hashem does miracles, saves the Jews. And Tishrei, what happens? We do tshuva. So it's us reaching up to Hashem. Us reaching up to Hashem. It's very difficult to make the Seder like really exciting for kids. Kids that go to yeshiva, so they study, they learn about it like a month in advance. They get really intense, make their own Haggadah. But you have kids that aren't into that. Like, what are you going to, you have a long story. People have to work on this. Parents have to work on this. I'm talking to the parents who are listening. You got to work on making the Seder interesting and engaging for your children. And I think maybe you have to start preparing before. Talking about what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, what they're going to do, and think of all kinds of things to do to get them engaged. And not to drag it out, but to focus on the children. I know some people are like 30 people at their Seder. Can't imagine what happens there. Just make it meaningful. You know, like people start talking and getting distracted. I don't know. I mean, we have a big Seder, so everybody's doing the Seder. But you have to get kids, and there's so many Haggadahs. I think it's the book with the most variations. Every year comes out a new Haggadah. What does a new Haggadah mean? What's new? It's not old. It's the same Haggadah as it was before. It's not a new version. It's the same words. It's a different presentation. Always a different. So we have to get our kids involved in the Seder and adults too. It's like beyond, like students will call like 2 hours before Pesach starts. Is there a place we have to Seder? Like, why did you think about this 2 weeks ago? Because not in their mind. The normal Jew, they're starting to clean. The second Purim is over. Boom. Got to clean every room, the whole business. So it's an exciting time. It's an engaging time. And it's nice that the weather is turning to be more hospitable. That's what the weather is becoming. So, last week we mentioned this guy who gave $18,000 to Cabana, Florida, to Gainesville, because of what happened. We didn't mention this?
I
think
so.
we did. No? I talked to so many people about so many different things, about the same things. I don't know who I said what to. So last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever that guy, I don't want to mention his name because he's such a nasty person, we talked about Chabad and building the Beis Hamikdash and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Of course you do. This. He's a famous guy.
There are a lot of famous guys.
Not nasty famous guys.
I can think of a couple.
He said that Chabad wants to build the third Beis Hamikdash on the Temple Mount, and I don't know. I didn't listen to him. I just saw what other people said he was saying. He was saying nasty things about Chabad, and so this guy who knows Chabad in Gainesville came in and dropped an $18,000 check. He said, "This is for Chabad." So you know what Shopify is.
I'm aware of what Shopify is. Yeah.
You know who runs it, owns it, who created it.
No.
His name is Finkelstein.
Mm,
You think he's Jewish?
probably.
Yeah. So in Ottawa, what city in Ottawa? I don't remember. There's a
Ottawa
Chabad there.
is a city.
Oh, it's a city? I thought it's like a
Yeah.
province.
No, Ottawa is the capital, I think, of Canada. Actually, Ottawa is in. It's. I don't think it's in Ontario. It's because
Okay.
it's in the Eastern time zone because they're in the Eastern Conference. Uh
Everybody has their
oh no, it is
little.
Ontario. Yeah. It's in the east of Southern Ontario, near the city of Montreal, on the U.S. border.
Okay, fine. So this guy went to school there, and he said to his Chabad rabbi, "What's the Chabad rabbi's name? I forgot already." Anyway, he said to him, he said, I'm going to build a Chabad house for you one day." Okay, like a lot of students say that, not many of them come through, but this guy hit it big. I mean, he made this website called Shopify.
Mm-hmm.
And so he built him a $2 million Chabad house, something like that. Very, very nice. So last week after that guy said that, he said he's going to make a donation to 13 Chabad houses in Canada, Chabad on campus, 13 of them.
Good. Canada needs it.
So I posted about this, or maybe I posted about him. Yeah, I posted about him because there was an article about it. I posted it, and then some guy sent the donation to the Chabad house, an alum. I'm not going to tell you his name because then everybody's like, "Oh, I know him." He lives in New York, and he sent it. It wasn't a big thing. It was a nice donation. It wasn't a big donation. It wasn't like, "Oh, wow." But that's the thing. When somebody says something nasty about Chabad, and you say, "Oh no, what are you going to do? You know, fight, tell the whole world to fight with them and try to argue with them, try to educate what Chabad is." That's the now. I think they put in one of the New York newspapers. They put a full page ad. This is what Chabad is. Like, okay, shkoyach. You put your money where your mouth is. You think you want to support Chabad? Everybody who like, oh man, they said something nasty about Chabad, I'm going to support Chabad. And then post it somewhere. Tell everybody, I support Chabad. But you got to do something. Just talk about it. Anyway, that's that. That was very nice of him. So, I was thinking about this. What do you think? Okay, Shaysar and Seth, you know about
Mm.
Rebbe dollars, right?
Rebbe dollars. Yes, I'm aware of the Rebbe dollars.
Right. Do you have any?
No.
No, because you never went to get dollars. You weren't
Correct.
alive then.
Correct.
You're a very young man. So sometimes people want to get a Rebbe dollar
Mm-hmm.
who never got one. They want to get it from somebody. So I don't know. There's like sometimes they do fundraisers, and they like to say, we'll raffle off a Rebbe dollar, or if you give a certain amount of money, get a Rebbe dollar. There were times the Rebbe gave single dollars, or not. It wasn't part of the regular dollars that the Rebbe gave on Sunday, but the Rebbe gave him sent out like I don't remember the story. Gave like 10 $100 bills or something like that, and said the guy was making a big fundraiser. Said, "Oh, you'll be able to get from this. You'll be able to make a lot more money." So that idea of using the Rebbe dollars to make more money is not like unheard of. In fact, yeah, I'm trying to remember when I was in Morristown in Yeshiva. So we started a free loan fund, free of interest, for Bachram and Yeshiva. I don't know why Bachram and Yeshiva needed loans of money, but
Mm.
I believe that That the Rebbe spoke about it then. That's what I think. I don't remember exactly. It's a long time ago. This part of it, so we started. Somehow we got money, like a couple $100, maybe more. And we started this. Anybody wants a loan, you make a loan, and they have to pay it back, but there's no interest. And that's common in many Jewish communities. Are you aware of this? Are you?
Say that one more time. Sorry, you cut out.
Are you aware of free loan societies?
No.
You do know that a Jew is not allowed to give or
This
take
I'm
interest.
aware of, yes.
So what do people do if they need a loan?
Get it from a
So
non-Jew.
they have something called a gemach, which means gemilas chasadim, kind act of kindness. And a gemach means that they give loans and they don't charge interest. Now sometimes these are like, could have hundreds of thousands of dollars in them or more. It would be very active. And people that like me want to start a bit, whatever the reason is. I don't. Sometimes they'll ask for a guarantor, but it's a free loan, so you don't have to pay interest on it. So I started. I don't know it was me, maybe I know it was me. Started a free loan thing in Morrison in Yeshiva, and I wrote a letter to the Rebbe telling him about it. Maybe, yeah, that's for sure. I got a letter back from the Rebbe with a check that the Rebbe signed.
Mm.
I think it was 25.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is great. Something weird happened with the rabbi, and he's no longer in the thing. Oh, he's back. I didn't have to talk to everyone for too long.
Oh, good. It clicked out. Oh, you took over. That was great.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
just
thought.
continued and narrated through the fact that you were no longer in the meeting, and then you came back in.
And I have to find it. I got to fix my computer. All right, whatever. So,
You got a
oh yeah.
check
So
that was signed by the Rebbe.
the
Yes.
Rebbe, I think it was for $25,
Hmm.
and a letter from the Rebbe, and that was signed by the Rebbe too. Now I was thinking like, oh, I want to keep it, but how could I keep it? The Rebbe sent it for the, like there was a story with the shliach in California when he first went out. The Rebbe sent him a check like for 3 different projects they were doing, and maybe it was for Pesach. It was something like 3 different things that the Rebbe sent it for. And he got the Rebbe's check, and the Rebbe signed the check. So he's not going to, the Rebbe signed the check. It's holy. So he didn't cash the check. So the Rebbe's secretary calls him after a few weeks and says, hello, how are you doing? You must be doing very well financially because you didn't use the check. If you don't need the money, send it back. We can use it for something else. The Rebbe wanted to deposit the check. So I think what I did then was made a raffle or something to raise money for the gemach, and the person who won it got the check. But the signed letter, I have somewhere in my archives because something like that, something. One time there was Mendy's son's upshern, which was like 9 years ago, and so I have a letter that the Rebbe had sent for one of the, I think maybe for his upshern. Could it be? Yeah, it could be. Or maybe it was one of his older brothers, Upshern. And I read that letter at the brach the Rebbe sent. I read it at the Upshern, and so there was this woman, young woman, married, kids, and she said, "Could I?" I said that, and I explained that it was a letter that the Rebbe sent, and the Rebbe signed it, and she said, "Can I hold the letter?" And she took it, and like she was like, she got very emotional. I was like, oh my golly, she's having a real spiritual experience. But it's like, holding something that the Rebbe himself had signed, had touched it. She was like very overwhelmed by it. And I was very like, whoa, whoa. Anyway, so I think that's, there's certain, there's a certain holiness when a tzaddik you touches something or uses it, signs his name, so it becomes holy. It's very special, and that's why when the Rebbe gave out dollars, he would say, so the way it started before Sundays, the Rebbe would distribute dollars at the Farbrengen. At the end of the Farbrengen, he said, "We talked about Torah. We also davened before. Now we're going to do tzedakah." So he called up the tankisten, the mitzvah tanks. You know what a mitzvah tank is?
Yeah, I've seen the mitzvah tanks. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's trucks that are used, to go to different park in different places, and people can come inside and put on fill-in or whatever else they're going to do there. So they were called, all the tankisten can come up, and they would, like about 50, 100 guys would line up behind the Rebbe, and he would have a stack of dollar bills and would give them, and they say this is to distribute to everybody that's here in the crowd. So that's how that was the precursor to the Sunday dollars. Then at some point, the Rebbe gave it out Sunday. So, and the Rebbe would say, give the dollar or it's exchange. In other words, the Rebbe was aware that people are not going to take his dollar and just give it to some random person who needs money. I mean, it's a mitzvah tzedakah they want to do, but they don't want to give away the Rebbe dollar. And the Rebbe knew that. Mm-hmm. So he was very realistic. He said, give it or it's exchange. And add to it even better. So the Rebbe knew that was happening. So the Rebbe acknowledged that there was something special about it. So somebody asked me if I can find a Rebbe dollar for him because he wants to give it something as a gift or something, whatever. And I have a lot of Rebbe dollars, but I've never given one to anybody. I had another guy who was driving me crazy for a long time, wanted a Rebbe dollar. I just felt that like what do you think?
Is this not a rhetorical question? You actually want me to answer? Like the
Yeah,
Rebbe
what do you think?
dollars? Like, what do I think about Rebbe dollars? Like, I don't. I mean,
How about giving them away? Huh?
like, it's an interesting concept, right? Because it's like the Rebbe gives you a dollar, which then like he also inherently knows you're gonna keep that dollar, and you're just expected to like take a different dollar and give it away.
Not that he knows that, but he knows that. But the thing was, the Rebbe wanted that. The Rebbe's intention was that when two people meet, a mitzvah should happen from it. A third person should benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "I'm going to give you a dollar, but wink, wink. I know you're not going to give it away, but so give something in exchange." So,
Yeah.
so the Rebbe didn't motivate every single person who got the dollar to give a dollar to tzedakah because they knew that the Rebbe gave it to them on that condition. That was the whole point of it. But then now later on, when somebody, so to me, I'm like, I don't know, the Rebbe gave it to me. It's my dollar. It's supposed to be for me. It's not like something just to barter around and to. I think it diminishes the whole. I don't know. I don't know. Like I know my father passed away, so we have all the we took all of his belongings and we divided between us. Like his farim. It was interesting because there was I was going to bring it down. A safer. I think like some of the books that I had were still in there. I never took them. It got mixed into his farm, his books. It's like a book I got as a prize when I was 14 years old for being a good student. A safer, and the rabbis that signed it, like, oh wow, they're long in heaven. Anyway, so that's what I felt. I felt that like, even though this guy offered like. So he was offering like a nice sum of money for the Rebbe dollar, but I can't. I just can't do it. I think it diminishes the. I don't know. It just seems if I got it, it's so my father's stuff. We divided it up. So Hani says we should take our Rebbe dollars and give it to our kids. Like, what are we holding on to them for? Distribute them. Let them have it now. I don't know. We haven't done it yet, but we guess we will. Maybe, I don't know. I guess it's a good thing, but I think if someone receives it, I don't know. I have a lot of them because like they were given out for Farbrengens and went for dollars this, and they just put in an envelope somewhere. A lot of them I wrote. I wrote when I got it. That was like the thing to do, so you remember when you got the dollar, what date it was. But I don't know if anybody's listening has any opinion. Please contact us and let us know what you feel about giving away Rebbe dollars. I don't know. I have to figure this one out. But
But
things
it's
that are holy.
interesting
And I
that
also have like
honestly,
the Rebbe gave out Tanya's. The Rebbe gave out in the later years. The Rebbe gave out like different things that were like different svarim. So twice he gave out a Tanya, a thick Tanya, and then he gave a paperback Tanya, and then a couple other things. Some of the things I didn't get because I was in Boston already. Because that was like in the late '80s when everybody was starting to give out all these things. Anyway, so you
it's just
have all the
interesting
so
because you have these dollars, and then I think there's arguments to be made either way, right? Whether you just keep the dollar that you already have, or if they should be spread out more, or
give other people.
you know.
Okay,
I do like the idea of like the what you were mentioning before with like the fundraisers, right? Like people do the fundraisers for
for a
the
good
dollars, like
cause,
just being able to continually, like, that dollar has already been used to inspire to give, and now you can use it to inspire more people to
more
give
people.
and have
Yeah,
kind of a cascading effect of it. But
yeah. So interestingly, my father had a nickel that he kept in his. I didn't know this, but my brother told me he had a nickel that he kept in his wallet that he got from the. So I asked him today. I was because I was thinking about this. I didn't remember. He got it like in 1948. Either from I think he said it was, or maybe it was later. The date on the coin doesn't tell you when he got it. It tells you he couldn't get it before that, but it was minted in 1946. But he said he got it from the Rebbe. So and he got it like one of his times he traveled. So it could have been before the Rebbe became Rebbe or after the Rebbe became Rebbe. But he held on to that nickel in his wallet his entire from then and on. So I guess that's a lot of people who have like Rebbe pictures in their wallet. You open your wallet, you see the Rebbe. So this is what it says. Haneitel prute me'iyev. It's the Gemara in Bava Basha says you take something, a belonging from a holy person has holiness attached to it, and so the object itself, like by some chassidim, there's idea of like when the Rebbe would eat, he would take a little bit from the plate and then they would distribute it to other chassidim, all the chassidim, because they want to eat it. Like the leftovers, the fact that the Rebbe made a bracha and ate from that plate, the whole plate becomes holy, and everybody wants to take a piece of it, get a piece of it. And by our Rebbe was also like that. When the Rebbe would give out Kodesh bracha after Yontif, you make Havdalah and give out from the wine. It was also the same thing. It was like leftovers. Anyway, that's the story with that. So we'll figure out what to do with it. In the meantime, we got to start preparing for Pesach and do it with happiness and joy. This is a thing my father would say. We say on Purim, we say Happy Purim, and by Pesach, we have a kosher Pesach. He said, you don't have to give people a blessing to have a kosher Pesach. Everybody has a kosher Pesach. You have to tell people to be happy on Purim. Everybody's happy on Purim. The problem is, what you have to say, sometimes people, there's because they're getting so happy on Purim, we're not being so careful of what they're eating. So you really should wish people a kosher Purim. Make sure you keep it kosher. And when it comes to Pesach, we know it's going to be kosher. Everybody goes crazy about it. But are you going to be happy? We don't know. So instead of saying happy Purim and kosher Pesach, we should say kosher Purim and a happy Pesach.
Amen.
And so also the preparations should be done with joy. I like doing the svarim. I go through my svarim. It takes me. I start reading books I haven't seen in a long time, and like Connie's like, you're supposed to clean them now. You read it some other time.
you got the you got the cleaning gene. That's what I used to do when I was a kid. My parents would make me clean stuff up, and then I get distracted by old stuff that I hadn't used in a long time.
Exactly. And my sister had I think I think it was her grandson. No, it was a granddaughter. My sister's granddaughter. Granddaughter? I don't remember. One of her grandchildren got married in Israel. I wasn't going to the wedding. I know it was her daughter's son or daughter. And so she sent some videos. And of course, what happens, like, it looks like it was after the chuppah. Everybody's down in the safe room.
Hmm.
Like wherever they were doing the wedding had a safe room. So the reality in Israel is you go to a wedding and you know you're going to spend part of the time down in the safe room, which is kind of like, but they're living. They're not like freaking out about it. It's not easy. One of my other brother's grandchildren. My brother has a daughter lives in Israel, and her son, I think he's like 10 years old, made like a little movie showing how they get up in the middle of the night, they run down to the shelter, they wait till they can go back, they come back. It's not funny, but that's just the way it is. Or I was talking to this alum, Amir Rasowski from MIT. How's life there? He's saying, oh well, it's okay. Da, 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 da. We go into the shelter, out of the shelter. So it's part of life. That's the reality of what you have to do, which is pretty crazy. But people are like, oh, how are they doing in Israel? Or I was reading this article about this woman was complaining that her daughter went to seminary in Israel, now stuck in Israel because complaining about El Al and their ticketing, whatever. I don't know what that doesn't matter to me. But she kept saying, my daughter's stuck in Israel. I'm like, lady, your daughter's in Israel. She's not stuck. What's wrong with you? So she's stuck. Find a place for her to go for Pesach and let her live it up. I mean, yeah, you're in Israel, so figure it out. It's not the best. I mean, it's always good to be in Israel, but like as far as it's challenging because of what's going on, the danger. But still, don't keep on. So in the letter, she wrote a letter to the editor of some website. You know, talking about my daughter's stuck. My daughter's stuck. No, she's not stuck. Yeah, I know you want her at home. I understand, fine, but still, like this Bachram, these yeshiva Bachram, like they went through Jordan or something, got stuck in Jordan for 5 days. You saw that?
I've been hearing jokes about it. People, they're like, you take a train or a bus to a lot, and then I want to see you take like a train to a lot, and then they bus you from a lot through like the Sinai or something stupid, and then you fly from Jordan, or you fly from Egypt
Egypt,
to like Morocco, and then Morocco to Spain, or like it's just like this ridiculous like 4 flight thing that finally gets you to the U.S.
right, 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 right. Just stay there, right? Just stay in Israel. Pesach. We'll all be in Israel for Pesach. There's no more war. There'll be peace in the world. Mashiach will come. That's what we have to focus on. Look outside. It's sunny. The same way the snow got melted and disappeared. Not sunny there.
It's not sunny here, and we still have a lot of snow left. Like we've still got a foot of snow.
Oh Hashem, come to Boston.
It was like 80 degrees yesterday, and then it's like 45 today. So the snow is still melting. It's just not
Right,
melting
right.
as fast.
Well, that was yesterday. Also, was warmer here. Anyway, Mashiach is coming. Pesach in Yerushalayim, in the third Beis Hamikdash, built by Mashiach, not by Chabad. Well, whatever.
Okay,
Close it up.
is that it? Are we? I didn't know if there was gonna be more after the joke.
No, we said we have to be happy, so we're being happy.
Well, with that, thank you so much for listening to episode 151 of the Pos-cast with Rabbi Shmuel Posner. We will see you next week.